ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So we'll just read this article and we'll discuss in the middle. So we have been usually taking our personalities from Bhagavatam, but these three personalities in discussion here are from Chaitanya Charitamrita, but they are directly the gurus of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So so it has these special lessons. So it was just there in my mind a lot. So I thought let me share this. So the title is The Tale of Two Disciples. So may I request some devotees can read turn by turn, maybe like 2 or 3 paragraphs at a time, and then we discuss.
Yes, Prabhuji, surely. Shall I start?
Yeah, please, anyone.
Uh, A Tale of Two Disciples by Kanandini Devidasi, an example of what to do in the service of one's guru and of what not to do. On the spiritual path, initiation by a qualified guru is of paramount importance. From the Bhagavad Gita and other authorized scriptures, we learn that accepting a guru is necessary for getting an advanced connection with the Lord and going beyond the limitations of material nature. Lord Krishna advises Arjuna and all of us, quote, just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Unquote. Gita 4.34. A serious student should carefully and prayerfully choose a spiritual master and then serve that person with dedication. Just how one serves the Guru and becomes eligible to see the truth is reflected in the story of Ishwar Puri, and how one's service to the Guru can be problematic, keeping one from the truth, is seen in the story of his god brother Ramchandra Puri.
Hmm. So this story of this the tale of two disciples will highlight how to serve and please a guru and how to not do that, or how to displease a guru. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Anyone else would like to read now?
In Chaitanya Charitamrita, the illustrious multi-volume study of the life, precepts, and followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we find the tale of two distinctly different disciples, both initiated into the science of Bhakti Yoga by Madhavendra Puri, a self-realized spiritual master and the Param Guru, Grand Guru of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The stories of the two disciples, Ishwar Puri and Ramchandra Puri, are instructive for anyone who wants to progress in spiritual life. One is an example of what to do in service of one's guru, and the other an example of what not to do.
Yeah.
Since
Since
Ramchandra Puri, go ahead, Vishal.
since Ramachandra Puri was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, Lord Chaitanya regarded Ramachandra Puri as an elder, his spiritual uncle, almost on the level of his own guru, Ishvara Puri. Although Ishvara Puri and Ramachandra Puri had the same guru, Ramachandra Puri associated closely with persons cultivating gnana, or dry speculative knowledge, and was always attracted to doctrines that opposed pure devotional service, whereas Ishvara Puri was always enamored by devotional topics. By the arrangement of of Providence, Madhavendra Puri became incapacitated in his old age, unable to move or even to attend to the call of nature. With great humility and gratitude, Ishvara Puri devotedly and patiently cared for his beloved Guru, bathing him and cleaning his waste from his body. Ishvara Puri saturated the environment around his Guru with the chanting of the holy names of God and enlivened his Guru by speaking about the pastimes and divine qualities of Radha and Krishna. Somebody else wants to continue?
Anyone can read.
Later, Ishwar Puri showed humility when he met another great devotee, Sri Advaita Acharya, one of Lord Chaitanya's closest associates. Despite being a Vaishnav sannyasi himself, Ishwar Puri introduced himself to Sri Advaita by saying, quote, I am a Shudra, a member of the lowest class. Unquote. If we contrast this with the arrogance of his god brother Ramchandra Puri, we see a vast difference between the two disciples. Because of Ishwar Puri's dedication to his Guru and his exemplary humility, the Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted Ishwar Puri as his own Guru, as an example to the world.
Yeah. So up till here, it is explained how they were the disciples of the same spiritual master, the great Sripad Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri is said to have had Ajgara Vritti, which means he had the mentality of a python. A python doesn't work so hard. In fact, he hardly works. He hardly endeavors to catch a prey. Or by the nature's arrangement, if an animal or whatever, it happens to just come close by, then the python is fine to welcome a bite. Otherwise, unlike snake and other beasts and other species of life, he doesn't work so hard. So, in the case of great personalities, great Vaishnav devotees of the Lord, it is explained that like they don't endeavor only. They know that they have so much faith in Krishna's arrangement. Krishna will arrange. So Madhavendra Puri was of that type. He would be always immersed in Krishna bhajan. So always remembering, chanting, hearing about Krishna, always enlightening others about Krishna. Just totally absorbed. And all his bodily needs, like eating and other things, the clothes or whatever necessities of life would be supplied by Krishna, arranged by Krishna. So he had that kind of faith, just like Prahlad Maharaj had that kind of faith. He didn't even budge an inch when his father and his father's family members tried to kill him. So this Madhavendra Puri was so extremely advanced. It is in fact said that he was the very acharya who exhibited the symptoms of love of Golok Vrindavan. Such personality has these two disciples, Ramachandra Puri and Ishwar. Ishwar Puri, as this article explained, was even a very humble servant directly and physically, like in a very gross way, also to his spiritual master. What to say spiritually? And he was also very humble. It's not like he was bragging around, going around bragging about himself. No. On the other hand, we find Ramachandra Puri, he was quite arrogant. He didn't serve in a very menial way his spiritual master, and he definitely didn't represent his spiritual master properly in terms of spiritual life also. In fact, he would kind of have his own misconceptions and then propagate them around. So so now the focus which this article gives is they were of the same master, but they were not of the same mind. So on his deathbed, Madhavendra Puri felt intense separation from Krishna. Crying in the mood of Srimati Radharani after Krishna left Vrindavan, he kept repeating this verse. This is a particular verse. So this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. O my Lord, O most merciful Master, O Master of Mathura, when shall I see you again? Because of my not seeing you, my agitated heart has become unsteady. O most beloved one, what shall I do now? So this is actually a very spiritually, like it's laden with spiritual emotions, spiritually rich, feelings of heart, a state of heart between between the Lord and His great devotee. So both Ishwarapuri and Ramchandrapuri were with him at the end. The latter chided his guru. If you are in full transcendental bliss, he said, you should now remember only Brahman. Why are you crying? So this is like being a like an offensive jnani, like a Mayavadi. He is speaking. Exasperated, Madhavendra Puri responded, "Get out, you sinful rascal! O my Lord Krishna, I could not reach you, nor could I reach your abode, Mathura. I am dying in my unhappiness, and now this rascal has come to give me more pain. Do not show your face to me. Go anywhere else you like. If I die seeing your face, I shall not achieve the destination of my life. I am dying without achieving the shelter of Krishna, and therefore I am greatly unhappy. Now this condemned foolish rascal has come to instruct me about Brahman." Actually, he says this not out of anger, uh, not out of general anger towards Ramchandrapuri. Madhavendra says this because like he really felt concerned, he really felt upset that after having received so much of inspiration, association, and enlightenment, after all this spiritual wisdom, look at this person. So yeah. So see, Madhavendra Puri had the highest realization of the Supreme Lord. Okay. Why would he remember Krishna as Brahman? Not at all. So now our focus here is on this part now. Two things were wrong with Ramachandra Puri's behavior here. He corrected his guru, okay, and he recommended that his guru focus on Brahman instead of his beloved Lord Krishna. Because of this offensive behavior, Ramchandra Puri's devotional mood diminished, and he later even criticized Lord Chaitanya. This caused him to lose all good material and spiritual fortune. Okay, so this is a very important part to be noted. This is the essence of Ramachandra Puri's behavior. And then what happened? Because of his offensive behavior, he lost his devotional mode. Okay, and he even became more offensive. So one offense leading to more offensive mentality itself, and then the more the offensive mentality, more further offenses, and this caused him to lose all his good material and spiritual fortune. On the other hand, Ishwarapuri, due to his humble service attitude, could understand his guru's heart and so was able to console him and go deeper in spiritual realization. Ishwarapuri received the blessings of Madhavendra Puri, whereas Ramachandra Puri received a rebuke from him. Therefore, these two persons, Ishwarapuri and Ramachandra Puri, are examples of the objects of a great personality's benediction and punishment. Madhavendra Puri instructed the entire world by presenting these two examples. So, just like I heard, there is this Mukha Ravindra Prabhu in ISV. There may be other devotees also. Obviously, I don't know everyone in such a big community, but I definitely know Mukha Ravindra Prabhu, that how he is very much pleased His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, who is his spiritual superior as well as his spiritual master, his spiritual teacher, and he has very much understood his heart. He like knows what Maharaj would like to have at this point of time and how things should be done, what priority should be there. Isn't it Kadukarna, bro?
Yes, Prabhu. He is an example, Prabhu, of devotion.
Yeah. So many, along with some other devotees, he's also very dear to Maharaj, uh, of what I heard. So, so this is what is given here. Like, a great soul, by his blessings, what can happen, and by his uh, displeasure. Hmm. Of course, displeasure is also a blessing because that also leads us to Krishna forcibly. As a consequence of offending his guru, Ramachandra Puri acquired the tendency to criticize. See, just see here. As a consequence of offending his guru, Ramachandra acquired a tendency to criticize and find faults with others. He lost his taste for devotional ecstasy and would instruct people in dry philosophical speculation. This is the unfortunate, terrible result of Guru Aparadha and Vaishnava. Actually, he went on offending, like you see further. Further, what happened? Later at Jagannath Puri, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was residing, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was residing, Jagdananda Paita, an associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, saw the Lord with two other devotees, Paramananda Puri and Ramachandra Puri, talking, embracing, and offering obeisances. Jagadananda invited them all to eat at his home, arranging for some sumptuous Jagannath Prasad to be brought. After they had eaten, Ramachandra Puri requested Jagadananda to eat and served him himself. After Jagdananda had finished his meal, Ramachandra Puri started criticizing Lord Chaitanya and his followers. I have heard that the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu eat more than necessary. Now I have directly seen that this is true. Feeding a sannyasi too much breaks his regulative principles. For when a sannyasi eats too much, his renunciation is destroyed. Just see how he's criticizing. Basically, he's telling that Arey, these people are eating too much. Because of Ramachandra Puri's criticism, Lord Chaitanya reduced his eating, much to the dismay of his devotees. Ramachandra's fault finding increased, and although the devotees condemned him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu restrained them, and later Ramachandra Puri suffered immensely, both materially and spiritually, for his offenses. See, the central lesson here is that the blessings and the pleasure of the spiritual master make the uh, make the very spiritual fortune of a disciple's life, and the displeasure and uh, the displeasure of the heart of the spiritual master, that actually brings disaster in the life of a disciple. Yasya prasada bhagavat prasado, yasya aprasada nagati kutopi. That's what we sing every day. Let me share with you two or three examples in this relation. You see, Srila Prabhupada himself, he pleased his spiritual master so much, even when he was like just a regular devotee, so to say. I mean, when Bhaktivinoda Thakur was there on the planet. So, by his attitude, by his dealings with other devotees, by his eagerness to hear, okay, and by his devotional writings, like in his letters and all to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he pleased Bhaktivinoda Thakur so much. One time he wrote a poem. In that poem, there was a there was a series of lines in which he had written the mood of Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur. And when Saraswati Thakur read that, he was so pleased. Impersonal calamity thou has removed. Absolute is sentient, thou has proved. Impersonal calamity thou has removed. My goodness, Saraswati Thakur was so pleased with those, lines one after the other, that he has understood my heart. This person has exactly understood my heart. How is it possible? because because he pleased Saraswati Thakur in so many ways, little ways. Like when it was 1933 here in Prayagraj, when Saraswati Thakur came here and he was there in the Matha, Gaudiya Matha, and the head of the Matha is some sannyasi disciple. He said, today's initiation ceremony, I wanted you to initiate this Prabhu also. He's a married devotee, he's an adhikari. So can you please, initiate him also? He's a Babu Grahastha. So immediately Saraswati Thakur looked at Abhay, and the sannyasi thought probably he doesn't know him, like Saraswati Thakur doesn't know him. But Saraswati Thakur says, oh, I know Abhay. I met him in Navdeep, I met him in Vrindavan, Radhakund, Govardhan. He likes to hear. He does not go away. Which means, like Abhay would sit for even 6 hours, 8 hours, after every break, like, many devotees would go for different darshans and all in the Dham area and the yatras in Vrindavan, Govardhan. But Abhay would carry on to sit. Why? Abhay would say that what darshan will I get looking at the deities? It'll be just an eye exercise. Because for me, the deities are like stones only. Of course, they're not stones, but he said that how much do I understand the Lord? How much will I, unless I have the eyes imbued with devotion, unless my vision is inspired by spiritual knowledge, how will I be able to see Krishna even when he is in front of me? Pashyapi na pashyati. Prabhupada would say that, even looking at Krishna also, I'll not be able to see Krishna really in reality. So Abhay like would always prefer to continue to sit and hear from his spiritual master about Krishna. And Saraswati Thakur noticed that. He said he likes to hear. So there were many amazing qualities of Abhay which were one after the other pleasing to his spiritual master. They were little things. Like another third example, wherever Abhay would go, Bombay, Lucknow, Delhi, okay, Prayagraj, where he spent his 13 years, and of course in Calcutta, Navadvip, and Jagannath Puri, whichever places Abhay went, for his business, for his travels, he actually helped the local god brothers, like his, senior god brothers, sannyasis and mathadipatis and all. Why? He saw they are serving the mission of Lord Chaitanya under our spiritual master. So I am a lowly person attached to family life, and I'm into my own world of shillings and pounds. So let me at least assist them in their service to Lord Chaitanya, in their service to our spiritual master. So he'd assist, like they want to meet different influential people of the society to connect them to Krishna consciousness. So he would take them, come. I'm a businessman. They will meet me. They may not meet you, the sadhus. I'll introduce you. Oh, they don't know you. How will they trust you? Let me introduce you. Oh, you don't have that much money. You want money? Let me collect money from others. And sometimes in some matters, nobody would know proper mridang. Abhay knew mridang from childhood. His father had taught him. Abhay would go and assist. So in many different ways, Abhay was like always. So see, there were many reasons, one after the other, building up, and many of his good qualities were coming out, and this pleased his spiritual master. So this is one classical example, you know. And by the pleasure of the spiritual master, he kept on receiving the blessings of the spiritual master, which helped him to later on serve Krishna so powerfully, serve the entire world so powerfully. Mhm. Second example I can share with you is someone amongst Prabhupada's followers. So there was this sannyasi, his name was His Holiness Gaur Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So he was a very senior disciple of course, I am using the past tense here because he's no longer with us physically now. But just few years back, he was there. His Holiness Gaur Krishna Maharaj was a very senior disciple of His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj. And just like His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj is a touchstone, similarly, Gaur Krishna Maharaj himself was a touchstone. So I remember Gaur Krishna Maharaj was from Jhansi, and some of us, so we had asked this question to him that Maharaj, when you speak, it's like nectar flows. So uh, how is it like you have such kind of realization and such kind of revelations are there with you? How is it? Hmm? So he started laughing. He said, "Oh, you think it's mine? It's not mine." He said, "It's all because of blessings of my spiritual master." So then he said that like almost for like 25, 30 years, he said I was a simple village boy. I didn't even know, I don't know English, I don't know anything. I didn't know Sanskrit. I was not even I was from a very poor and very simple family in Bihar. And then he said that he didn't have much talents either. And he said I never wanted to engage also in speaking and other things. Said, but I loved my spiritual master. So when His Holiness Radhagovind Maharaj would do kathas, kathas and programs and a series of events in different places. So he's an acharya. So when he would speak on Bhagavad, and he's a very famous Hindi speaker, Hindi preacher of Bhagavatam, and very pure one for that matter. Our Amrendra Prabhu, famous Amrendra Prabhu, grew up hearing Radha Govind Maharaj's lectures. He's his disciple. So Radhaman Maharaj, like for him, the pandal program had to be arranged, the publicity, the arrangements of prasad, the mic system, like everything, for all the guests. And India, like it's not that easy, especially in India of 80s, 90s. It was not easy to arrange all this, even fundraising, you know. So the coordination, the communication, the planning, the tickets, even for Maharaj, everything like so. God Krishna Maharaj would do all this. He would take responsibility. It would be tough, but he would heartily do it because he loved his spiritual master and he knew that he's serving Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. And so, for the pleasure of his spiritual master, he would try to arrange everything first class. He would try to arrange everything very nicely so that Maharaj can just give katha. He would be like just like Govardhan. Govardhan facilitated Krishna and facilitated loving exchanges between Krishna and all the Brajvasis. The Brajvasis were looking for having a lot of loving reciprocation with Krishna, and the Govardhan facilitated that. Simultaneously, he saved them from Indra's wrath, right? So he himself was in trouble, but he facilitated pleasure for Krishna and all the Vaishnavas of Braj. Similarly, this Gaur Krishna Maharaj did that. So one day, like this, like after 3 decades of seva in like around 2005, 4, 6, somewhere in that era, one day there were like thousands of people had gathered from various villages in a province, and they had come to hear Radha Govind Maharaj speak Bhagavad Katha. Maharaj's health went very bad. He just couldn't even come on the stage, forget about speaking. And like people, they had never seen Maharaj. They had heard about, okay, he's like great. And so they're just waiting, and Kirtan is going on. How long? So then everybody in the organizing team, hey, we need to do something about now. What to do? Somebody said just put up a screen and some like recording of Maharaj. No, 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 no. People will get crazy. People will be very upset. They must start vandalizing things and all. You can't do that. So then, sorry. So then they started like having many, many ideas and discussions. Then one of them said, Gaur Krishna Maharaj, you should go and sit. You begin. Maharaj said, no, no, I never spoke to even 10 people. I can't do this. And they said so. Finally, they just put him. They physically put him. You have to speak now. And this Maharaj is like, oh, he is a very simple devotee. You had never done anything else. Then he starts like Guru Jai Radha Madhava. And he's praying, praying to Krishna, praying to Prabhupada, praying to Parampara, praying to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Panchatattva, praying to his Guru, praying to Bhagavad, please. And then anyway, he starts speaking. And Prabhu, like when these people who had come to attend this whole Bhagavad festival, 7 days, when they go back, what do they talk in their villages? They're talking like, hey, we had heard a lot of tapes, recordings of Radha Govind Maharaj, but we had never heard him live. This time we heard him live. And guess what? He's way better live than in recordings. Most of them couldn't even figure out it was not even Radha Govind because this guy had only heard him, mostly heard him, and served him so loyally, served him so much lovingly. And because of Maharaj's deep pleasure from his, Maharaj was so pleased with him, always. It is said whenever Maharaj would look at this Gaur Krishna Maharaj, his like, satisfied smile would come on his face. Like, where is Gaur Krishna? I'd feel proud of this devotee. And he's no charismatic person. Gaur Krishna Maharaj is not at all charismatic. Not at all coming from a very grand family or something. Very simple village. literally illiterate, like except knowing basic Hindi. From an English point of view, nothing, zero. Okay, very small heighted, very small heighted. I mean, he's like a most uh, insignificant personality as you could ever imagine. Not no much big degrees or anything. No post also in ever in his con, not a single post. But he won the heart of his spiritual master by offering him pleasure by his sincere service, by his sincere practice, by his loyalty. And what was the result when he would speak? I can tell you, bro, I can give you both of their MP3s. You cannot figure out who is who. That way, bro. Like his way of speaking, everything, his content, his purity, transformed so many hearts actually. So anyway, so many examples like this. I had asked once Gaurang Prabhu also. He, Prabhuji, what is the like? I told to Gaurang to Prabhu, I see like you go to any forum, business people's forum, and interfaith forum, leadership forum, even our own GBC forum. This that it's like as if Saraswati is sitting on your tongue. You have exactly the right words to speak, and how you get empowered, how you connect with people, and how you get the right plans and ideas. How I mean, just how to do all this. So so then he was like looking at me and he said, he said, hey, this is not cheap. It has come by a lot of payment. I said, what payment? He said, Arey, more than 25 years we have thoroughly served lotus feet of our spiritual master with no questions, full love, full love. So I said, oh. So I said, so he said, so I was asking like, so what happened then? He said, what means what? His blessings, you know. So I said, hey, what about us? We don't get access to serve Maharaj like that. And he said, then, of course he was just joking, he put his feet ahead, okay, like he removed his dhoti a little bit and put his feet ahead. He said, "For you, we are there." Of course, his point was, you do like this, you be servant of the servant. And if you really please the Vaishnavas and so the Guru means Shiksha Guru also, na? Like so, it's like so. Actually, this is reality. The disciple gets blessed, and if the disciple displeases, so that also acts very powerful. Because see, it's like you have electricity. So if you cool with an air conditioner, that also happens very powerfully. And if you use the heater and heat it, which I guess you must be using right now, so that also happens very powerfully. So that's the point here about Ramchandra Puri and Ishwara Puri. So very contrasting examples, very contrasting examples. It's a very graphic. So so now in the remaining last 10-15 minutes, let us see some lessons, some specified particular lessons from both of them. From both of them, their examples, very well written lessons. You will deeply appreciate. I'm confident. So because I can discuss more examples from our acharyas and other, but this is like uh, very neatly written lessons. Yeah. So who would like to read now?
The
Lessons.
okay lessons from Ramachandra Puri's example. What important lessons do we learn from Ramachandra Puri's interactions with his highly advanced guru? First, a sincere aspiring devotee should avoid finding fault with devotees and criticizing them, particularly the guru. This is a poisonous action. Finding fault with Krishna and his dedicated servants is extremely detrimental to one's spiritual advancement. Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Sri Prabhupada's guru, advised that aspiring devotees consider and work on their own faults rather than those of others. The following verse from Mahaprabhu's teachings to Rupa Goswami highlights the results of the mad elephant offense.
Yeah. Yeah, you can directly read the translation too.
Okay, if the devotee commits an offense at the feet of a Vaishnava while cultivating the creeper of devotional service in the material world, his offense is compared to a mad elephant that uproots the creeper and breaks it. In this way, the leaves of the creeper are dried up. Madhya 19156. Srila Prabhupada explains this further. If a person derides a pure devotee, he is never recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, the Supreme Lord never excuses one who offends a pure devotee. There are many examples of this in history. A great mystic yogi, Durvasa Muni, offended the great devotee Ambarish Maharaj. The great sage Durvasa was to be chastised by the Sudarshan Chakra of the Lord. Even though the great mystic directly approached the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was never excused. Those on the path of liberation should be very careful not to offend a pure devotee. Bhagavatam 4:31. 31. Disrespecting
Yes.
one's spiritual master. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Read now. Last
Okay.
verse.
Disrespecting one's spiritual master and other Vaishnavas has a pernicious effect on one's spiritual life. Unfortunately, sometimes some disciples, influenced by Maya, the illusory energy, become proud of their so-called spiritual status and knowledge and try to correct or instruct their guru or their advanced Vaishnavas. Maya tricks such offensive disciples into thinking that they are more spiritually advanced than they actually are and that they are acting with proper knowledge, when the opposite is true.
Yeah. So see, it's very self-explanatory as Prabhu just read that one should better avoid finding faults because when we pick up faults, because see, faults are everywhere in Kriya. And many a times it's even just our mind showcasing a certain thing to us and making us translate it into a fault. Or sometimes it's a small thing and we just zoom it or just make it like unnecessary, like they say, making a mole into a hill like that. And so often there can be like 999, 999 good things, and our mind may focus only on that. The example is given like that of a fly, even in the middle of a garden filled with roses, it'll go and sit on the stool. There is a little stool in the middle of the entire orchard. Whereas a bee does exactly the opposite. A bumblebee, she'll find in the middle of a desert of stool, she'll find one flower and go and sit on that. So, uh, so it's better to avoid picking up faults, unnecessary fault. And how to do that? It's just best to pick up the good qualities and focus on that and appreciate them. So like that, and especially with the senior devotees, it's like we may not be able to even uh, understand at times. Like unless a person is an expert person, he cannot actually understand. Like let's say someone gives you a raw diamond. If you're not like a a jeweler, we may not be able to even figure out whether it's a diamond or not. It takes one to know one, and therefore it is said that better to avoid picking up faults because we may think it's a fault, but we may not know it's not a fault like that. Mm. So, so this is the first thing because finding fault will definitely be followed by criticizing, and therefore, and that will lead to offense. So, second lesson, yeah, would like to read.
Second, all disciples are not equal. They may take initiation at the same time, but their levels of sincerity, surrender, obedience, desire, and respect differ. As the representative of Lord Krishna, the Guru is the instrument of both blessings and rebukes. Lord Krishna says, "As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha." Bhagavad Gita 4.11. So a disciple receives the Guru's mercy according to his or her degree of sincerity and seriousness. Srila Prabhupada said, "It is said that by the grace of Krishna one gets a guru or a spiritual master, and by the grace of spiritual master one gets Krishna." Matchless Gifts, Chapter 6. When disciples serve their guru with love, respect, and humility, the guru rewards them with spiritual insight and deeper connection to the Lord. When they disrespect or neglect the guru, however, considering the guru an ordinary person and acting with disdain or arrogance, neglecting the spiritual master's instructions, then they don't make any real spiritual progress and may even lose their material status.
Yeah. So see, all disciples are not equal, and this also clearly shows that the disciple's progress is not dependent upon his ashram. Not like a brahmachari disciple is necessarily more advanced. Second, it is not dependent upon his years of, like, okay, this guy is more senior. He got initiation like 15 years back, and I got like 6 years back. No, no such calculations. Third, it is not even dependent upon his information or knowledge. Unless there is a transformation, there is no point about even about knowing how many verses you know and all. No, doesn't count. Fourth, he may even have some kind of post like temple president or whatever. Doesn't count. Doesn't count in this spiritual equation of advancement or of transformation or of love of Krishna. And fifth, he may have a lot of achievements. There is an offering, Vyaspuja offering to Srila Prabhupada by His Honor Bhakti Tirth Maharaj from Gita Nagari, Pennsylvania. So he writes in that Prabhupada, when I come to you, uh, I imagine if I come to you and if I'm trying to talk to you and explain, whatever I've done for you all these years after you left material world. So I imagine like I come to you, I say I made so many temples, Sri Prabhupada, I've done this, I've installed so many deities, and Prabhupada, you will ask me, and what about the lust? What about your envy? Have you purified your heart? Uh, Prabhupada, actually, I've distributed so many books also. Let me give you the entire count, entire list. And we got like Sankirtan rank one, in East Coast and in North America. And okay, what about your lust? What about you? And it's like, so Maharaj goes on explaining, I may say this, I may say that, but Srila Prabhupada, you will come back to the point. What about the transformation of the heart? So actually, uh, like as Prabhupada, this Mataji writes here, she says, when disciples serve their guru with love, respect, and humility, the guru rewards them with spiritual insight and deeper connection to the Lord. This is the idea. When they disrespect or neglect the guru, however, considering the guru an ordinary person and acting with disdain or ignorance, or with arrogance, neglecting his instructions, then they don't make any real spiritual progress. It is said the first class disciple, he understands the heart or the mind of the spiritual. Second class disciple, he does what is told. Third class, he doesn't do even what is told. And fourth class, he does opposite. Yeah. So this is the second one, second lesson. Third lesson, small one. Yeah. Somebody like to read?
Hare Krishna, any other devotees online? Would you like to?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I can read.
Yeah, please.
Third, the tender plant of devotion can be destroyed quickly by offending one's guru. Such an offense offends the Supreme Lord. If one's spiritual master rejects him, one becomes so fallen that he, like Ramachandra Puri, commits offenses even to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not consider the offenses of Ramachandra Puri, for the Lord considered him his spiritual master. However, his character instructed everyone about the result of offending the spiritual master. Antilila 899 or 200.
Yeah. Thank you, Satya Sankalp. Satya Sankalp Pro is from Delhi. So Delhi gives a classical list of examples of those who pleased the Supreme Personality of Godhead by their service, by their good-hearted service, by their good-hearted respect to the devotees, like the Pandavas. Pandavas were always respectful and subservient to Bhishma and to Drona and to so many wonderful personalities and to Krishna himself. Whereas in the same Delhi, in the same Mahabharata, you have the examples of Duryodhana and Dushasana, Shakuni, and Karna, who were offensive. And look at like what was the destination of their life. So, so therefore, offenses will lead to destruction of one's tender devotion of heart. One's eagerness and enthusiasm to hear and chant about Krishna will start reducing. One can easily see this. This is a very scientific thing. So this bhakti is not sentiment, it's science. It's given in the Shastras. So anytime this kind of things happen, so we have to go back to the basics and you know set things right. Yeah. Fourth lesson, bro. Anyone?
I can continue, Prabhu, if that's okay.
Yes. Yes, please. You can continue all till sixth one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fourth, when a devotee offends another devotee, especially his or her guru, and doesn't repent or rectify the offense, the door is opened for more and greater offenses.
Yeah. So see this thing now, like if you happen to do an offense, even a small offense, it's better to be humble ourselves and go and just like talk, beg forgiveness. So there are many examples of this, so many examples, like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is an example of who's this guy Gopal Chapal. He happened to offend Shivas Thakur. And there is another example of Gopal Chakravarti, who offended Haridas Thakur. And in both the cases, they like suffered miserably. So one of them, after a long period of suffering of, in his life, he like became humble and went and begged forgiveness. And after that, he was like, he received the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. There is the example of Devanand Pandit, who actually, because of shortage of time, I am not getting into the detail. I hope some of you might have heard these examples, or maybe some other time I can actually elaborate. And it's beautiful actually. You hear the entire story, you'll never forget. Never forget. Very beautiful stories. Even so many lessons. I can share a 2 minute story of my own life. So there was, I went to a temple, and it was like several years back, almost like 15 years back. And I was there with some young devotees. I was myself so young and immature even today. But at that time, yeah, and there were some even younger new people, and I was just saying something, and maybe I spelled something out, or I don't know what happened. And they thought like, I was saying some appreciating words for one senior devotee in that temple, and they actually, I don't know how they took it or how they said it. It became like that devotee was vice president in that temple. He became very offended actually. He became like so wild, and then he told me, if you cannot respect, please don't come here. And I said, what happened to you? And somehow he took a lot of offense. So then I was wondering, and then I thought, oh, it's not good. So then I called up my mentor, His Grace Radhesham Prabhu, and I said, Prabhuji, like I'm here in the city, and this happened, so I must, I seek your guidance, and I also beg forgiveness. He said, no, no, it's correct. You are right. You should actually go and, seek. So then I went, but then this dude was not talking only to me. I had to take off from my office for like 3, 4 days, because I was sitting outside his office in the temple. I was sitting outside his office like whole day, but he's not talking only. He was just like frowning at me and just neglecting me. Just go away. And then I kept trying in various occasions. Many months passed. Then I was in another temple serving there, where I was sent. Then there was some ISKCON event there, like a series of meetings for a few days. So he also is an officer. So he came, and all these national leaders were there. And I was like assisting in various things like projector and uh, serving prasad and cleanliness. And also later on, at the end of the meetings, when his flight was there, he felt very sick that day. And then he had to stay back for like 4 or 5 days. So I was only, I volunteered to serve him, cook for him, and, massage him, his body, and many things. Like I don't, recollect so many things I was doing. And he was like, he wanted the taste of his area, so I was cooking specifically. Like he taught me even one dinner item, which he used to like to take like years back, like 20 years back and all. I learned the recipe from him and I cooked it very nicely. He was so happy. And I was like giving him care like a friend, like a nurse, and probably like a mother. I don't know. I think he felt so. Because afterwards, now when he left, he was like smiling and he actually embraced me and then he just, but there's not much spoken. So he went, and when he reached back to Bombay, where like he was there, so then he sent me a text, like a very warm and very personal and very long text. I said, "Thank you for taking care of me like a mother," and this and that. And he was like very happy. So I was like, after months, life came back in me, like, and I thanked Krishna. First, I felt very heavy, and especially I felt heavy to have misrepresented, whether knowingly or unknowingly, to have misrepresented my spiritual master and my superiors. so so actually it is very vital that we uh, we keep a very clean heart and we try to keep as clean as possible our behavior, because perceptions can always be different. We can try to maintain our best, but that's also we get disconnected. I remember like one devotee was telling me that, Prabhu, one time, because of some like this Ritviks, na, some devotees were little sometimes get carried away. So they published some, uh, sometimes, most of the times, fake kind of wrong stories and criticism, blasphemy on for some of our ISKCON gurus and leaders on internet. So one devotee happened to read, okay, these things on the net, and as a result of that, actually he could not respect and hear Krishna Katha from some of these senior gurus, the senior Vaishnavas in our movement, proper disciples. And he said, he's a very famous senior devotee in ISKCON, and he was sharing with me as a like as an elder brother. He said that for 3 years I was suffering because I couldn't hear Bhagavatam classes from them, because like those things were, although I knew they were wrong, but because I had taken association of those devotees who spoke like that about, I mean, by reading their article. So he said, therefore, it itself became offensive. So that is the worst result of our. So it took him like long time, and then of course he came back to track because he got association of very good devotees. Mhm. So criticism, even by hearing criticism, our heart gets hard and our faith goes down. Our innocence, the innocence, the simplicity of our heart, the joy of our heart, that gets covered or eclipsed, and uh, crookedness comes in and all those things happen. So it's like, it is explained by Saraswati Thakur that if you take a tank and if you fill it with devotion, it's like from the top, offenses are like putting a hole and then draining out whatever is there. And even if you're putting more in, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, but then it's all draining out because there is a hole made by us. So you have to cover it up now with humility, with service attitude, with diligence, you know and you begin with uh, uh, offering obeisances and begging for forgiveness from those devotees whom we criticize, whom we offended. Yeah. So I guess, um, we'll just read in this in a minute. This fifth and sixth lesson will not discuss, but we'll stop here after reading this, and we'll, next time we'll. This was half of the article. There is another half just below, which says the lessons from Ramachandrapuri. So we'll just read this remaining few lines of fifth and sixth lessons. Yeah, Satyasankalp.
Yes, bro. Fifth, we should associate with persons dedicated to Krishna and devotional service. Such persons try to serve others with humility and kindness, and their company is beneficial, drawing out similar qualities in us.
Yeah, so obviously, like as this says by itself, that we should associate with such people that who can actually Like when Bharat Maharaj in Ramayana, 22nd January now, Ram Mandir is getting. So when Bharat, uh, when he associated, sorry, when Keke associated with Manthara, she became corrupt. She became inimical to Ram. She became envious. She became hard-hearted. She became insensitive. Okay, she became selfish. And when same Keke associated with Bharat, when Bharat returned, okay, in his absence, all these things that happened. So because Bharat's heart was filled with love for Ram, filled with humility, filled with kindness, filled with compassion. He was an enlightened person. So then she again got transformed. She came back to her senses. So we become what we associate with. So it's best to associate with, you know, Bharat Maharajas, not mantras, filled with viruses. Yeah. Yeah. Sixth one.
Sixth, a disciple should thoughtfully and carefully respect his or her gurus, god brothers, and god sisters who are as venerable as the guru. Even if a disciple thinks that their instructions are improper, the disciple should show Vaishnava etiquette and not criticize them. Lord Chaitanya emphasized this point by his tolerant and carefully considered response to the obnoxious behavior of his spiritual uncle, Ramachandra Puri. A disciple who finds that instructions from the Guru's god siblings are improper should respectfully and confidentially inquire about what to do from the Guru or other mature, caring, practical devotees.
Yeah. Famous example, classical example is like Prabhupada's disciples going to his god brothers and, often getting, um, distracted. And so then Prabhupada instructing them very clearly, like, you better don't go there. You can't be offensive, but then you have to protect yourself. So if some of them are trying to show you a wrong path, then don't do it. But there were those who were showing the right path. Prabhupada said, please go and associate and respect them, serve them. So, or just like here, Lord Chaitanya is also respecting Ramchandra Puri anyways because of his connection to Madhavendra Puri. So like that, like I've seen, Vaishika Prabhu's disciples also, they very warmly treat and respect and welcome. So many other proper disciples coming there, and they also go out. That's a So these were the some beautiful lessons, and we could always discuss more sometime. But I hope it was a article helpful for you, and we'll try to continue next time if so. Okay.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. I think this was very appropriate. I think when we compare these two pictures, we are able to get more out of it, Prabhu. Thank you
Yeah.
for choosing this article.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone.
Let's, let's thank
Adinath
the
Krishna Prabhu, Rahul Prabhu, Lokbandhu Ram Prabhu, Dev Prasanna, Vishal Prabhu, and Satya Sankalp. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for your time. It's late in India. So let's thank Acyuta Mohan Prabhu with three Haribol.
Hari
Haribol!
bol,
Haribol,
Hari bol, Hari
Haribol,
bol.
Haribol. Thank you,
Srila
Prabhu.
Prabhupada
Haribol.
ki jai.
Yeah.